York Davis and Kenny Davis launched their canoe to start a summer-long adventure. They'll spend the next 3 months paddling from Fort Collins to New Orleans.
Well, we both just finished up school, and this is better than trying to find a real job. Just get a tan, get ready for the interviews.
York and Kenny are not related, even though they share the same last name. They also share a love of the outdoors. They were both Eagle Scouts, and they wanted to do something to focus attention on the Poudre River in their hometown.
Well, we've got a huge source of recreation here that flows through the town, and very few people take advantage of it at all.
Have a good trip, you guys. Thank you. Call if you need anything.
This all kind of started when we read a book about a guy who canoed the Mississippi by himself. And we were like, oh, that would be a lot of fun to do. And we got to thinking about it, and we said, you know, it would be a lot easier if we just started here in Fort Collins.
From the Poudre, they'll float into the Platte, then the Missouri, and finally the mighty Mississippi. They'll paddle through 10 states before they reach the Big Easy. But the hardest part of the trip will be right here in Colorado because they have to go around all of these water diversion dams. They have to carry their canoe and all their equipment around each dam. They expect to portage at least 70 times before leaving Colorado. It's a lot of hard work, but York and Kenny are looking forward to it.
Work can be fun if you enjoy what you're doing, and so this will be work, but it'll be fun work.
They should have plenty of company along the way, ducks and other critters that live on the river. And they're sure to have plenty of tales to tell when they get home. On the Poudre River, Roger Wolfe, 9 News. They set out on the Poudre River 3 months ago when the water flow was at its high point. Even so, they had to portage 70 times before they got across Colorado. And in Nebraska, they had to rent a car and drive around a 100-mile stretch of the Platte that was bone dry. But as they left last May, they were full of confidence.
When we set out, we knew we would do it. We were dumb. After a month on the river, we weren't so sure.
But Kenny Davis and York Davis didn't give up, and they're back now with stacks of pictures from their 82 days on the river. They saw lots of wildlife, birds, and huge snapping turtles, even some snakes. The scenery was great, and so were the people.
Everyone that we met along the river was much, much nicer than we had expected. People would willing to bring us into their houses, give us a shower, a little bit to eat, either maybe drive us into town to pick up some groceries.
The worst part was the weather. It rained constantly.
It rained and filled the canoe. It just rained. Anyone who's never been to the South can't understand that rain.
And when it wasn't raining, it was hot and humid.
And trying to work in that and going, okay, I'm breathing and I'm sweating and I haven't even gotten out of the tent yet this morning.
But in the end, they say it was worth the sweat and strain as they cruised down the Mississippi, along with the barges and showboats.
Yeah, I will look back on it fondly. Even now, I'm starting to forget more of the really bad parts.
We're glad we did it. We don't recommend it to anyone else, and we're not going to do it again.
But there may be some new adventures for York and Kenny. They're talking about kayaking the Pacific coast, or perhaps biking around Australia. Roger Wolfe, 9 News, Northern Newsroom.